The episode began like any other, Kelly Clarkson beaming as she welcomed her audience, applause filling the studio. The cameras shifted toward Sylvester Stallone as he strode onto the set, the crowd buzzing at the sight of the Hollywood legend. Fans expected lighthearted jokes, nostalgic stories about Rocky and Rambo, maybe a tease about his latest project. What they didn't expect was one of the most explosive talk show moments in years. At first, everything seemed routine. Kelly, known for her warm but candid interviewing style, eased into conversation with questions about Stallone's long career. But before long, the tone shifted. She steered the discussion into more personal waters, his divorce, his strained relationships with his children, and even criticisms of his acting style. Stallone's jaw tightened. He tried to keep his composure, but his eyes betrayed the storm, brewing beneath the surface. The breaking point came when Kelly, smiling innocently, asked, "A lot of people say Rocky was your peak, and everything else never quite lived up to it. How do you respond to that?" The audience gasped. Stallone leaned forward, the same intensity he once brought to his characters flashing in his stare. "You think I've spent 50 years in this industry just to be reduced to one character? That's insulting." The tension in the room thickened. Kelly tried to soften her tone, but the atmosphere had changed. The conversation had stopped, being playful. Stallone, clearly rattled, attempted to steer things back to his new film, but Kelly pressed again. "You've had a reputation for being difficult on set. Some people say you've alienated co-stars over the years. Do you think that's fair?" The crowd stirred. Whispered murmurs rippled across the studio. Stallone sighed, lips pressed into a thin line, his patience thinning. Then he snapped back. "You're crossing into gossip, not journalism. You want to talk about my work? Fine, but don't sit here and drag my name through the mud in front of an audience." His booming voice silenced the room. Kelly, still trying to keep the energy light, let out a nervous laugh. "I'm just asking what fans are curious about." But Stallone wasn't amused. His tone sharpened, carrying the weight of decades spent clawing for respect in Hollywood. Fans don't want cheap shots. They want honesty. They want the art, the struggle, the real story. If this is what passes for entertainment, maybe I made a mistake coming here. The audience shifted uneasily. Some admired Kelly's boldness. Others looked visibly uncomfortable with how personal things had become. Then Kelly pivoted to his recent family reality show, suggesting it was a desperate attempt to stay relevant. That was the final straw. Stallone's eyes blazed. He slammed, his hand down on the armrest. "That's it. I've had enough." Gasps erupted. He ripped off his microphone, stood abruptly, and barked, "You don't get to mock my family, my legacy, or the work I've poured my life into. This is a disgrace." Kelly's eyes widened. She tried to call him back, but Stallone was already walking off stage. The crowd erupted, some cheering him for standing his ground, others booing what they saw as an overreaction. Kelly sat frozen for a beat, then turned toward the cameras with a forced smile. "Well, that wasn't how I thought this would go," she muttered. Producers quickly cut to commercial, scrambling behind the scenes to salvage the show. Backstage, Stallone was fuming, pacing, muttering about disrespect and cheap television. Producers begged him to return, but he refused. Kelly tried to compose herself, but the damage was done. Within minutes, clips of Stallone storming off went viral. Hashtags like Tackern Stallone storms off and Kelly vs. Rocky trended worldwide. The internet erupted. Some praised Stallone for defending himself. Others argued he should have handled the tough questions with more grace. Commentators declared it one of the most dramatic talk show walkouts in recent history. The fallout spread fast. The next day, Kelly addressed it briefly. "I never intended to upset Mr. Stallone," she said, "but I ask the questions viewers want answered." Stallone, through a representative, responded curtly, "Mr. Stallone values honesty and respect in interviews. Yesterday's encounter was neither." The divide deepened. Entertainment shows replayed the clip endlessly, analyzing every glare and word. Rumors swirled. Had Stallone been warned about Kelly's tough style and ignored it? Or had producers pushed Kelly to be more provocative for ratings? Either way, the clash had entered talk show lore. Paparazzi hounded Stallone, the EE. Next morning outside his Beverly Hills gym, asked if he regretted walking out, he muttered only, "No respect anymore." Kelly, meanwhile, tried to put on a brave face. In her next monologue, she told her audience, "Sometimes things get heated. That's part of real conversation." The crowd clapped politely, but unease lingered. Insiders whispered that upcoming celebrity guests were reconsidering their appearances. Stallone's PR team went on the offensive, reframing the incident. Mr. Stallone is passionate about his work and his family. When he feels those values are under attack, he will defend them. Talk show rivals pounced. Stephen Colbert quipped, "Stallone walked off Kelly Clarkson's show. Normally when Rocky storms off, there's at least a training montage first." The audience roared. On The View, Whoopi Goldberg defended Stallone. "You don't go after somebody's family. That's the line." Joy Behar countered, "If you're famous, your life is part of the story. That's what people want to hear." Online, fans split into two camps. TikTok users cut together clips of Kelly grilling Stallone with captions like "Queen Energy" and "Kelly doesn't hold back." On Facebook, longtime Stallone supporters flooded comment sections defending their hero. Memes exploded. One viral post imagined a boxing poster. Rocky versus Kelly, this time it's personal. Behind the scenes, tensions flared. Kelly allegedly told friends she was following producer notes, insisting she felt set up to take the blame. Producers leaked to gossip sites that she had gone rogue and pressed harder than anyone expected. The finger-pointing only fueled more headlines. Stallone, in a later magazine interview, made his position clear. "I can take criticism of my films. That's part of the job, but when you drag family into it, when you suggest my legacy is just one role, that crosses a line. I won't sit there and smile while someone takes shots at my life's work." His blunt honesty earned him respect, even from those who thought he'd overreacted. He ended the interview declaring he had no interest in ever returning to Kelly's show. Other celebrities soon picked sides. Dolly Parton defended Kelly. "She never means harm. Sometimes tough questions get asked. That's the business." Arnold Schwarzenegger, meanwhile, backed Stallone. "If someone talked about my family like that, I'd walk out too. He did the right thing." Viewers loved watching the alliances form. Ratings for Kelly's show spiked in the short term, but producers worried celebrities might shy away from future bookings. Some insiders even speculated Kelly might be pushed to issue a live apology. Stallone showed no interest in reconciliation. Rumors swirled he might appear on a rival show, perhaps Jimmy Fallon or Oprah, to tell his side properly. By then, the feud had evolved beyond two personalities. It had become a cultural flashpoint about journalism versus entertainment, privacy versus fame, respect versus provocation. Whatever the truth, the moment was unforgettable. Sylvester Stallone, Hollywood's eternal fighter, storming off a talk show stage in fury. For Kelly Clarkson and Stallone alike, the incident had cemented itself in pop culture history, and the viral clip, Stallone tearing off his mic, booming, "You don't get to mock my family," would be replayed for years to come.